I'm thirsty. Refreshing.
I really hope I inserted the meme. Future editing, Liam, please fulfill my dreams. Anyways, hello, welcome back. This is different. I feel like most of the stuff I do on here is like reactions or songs or things of that nature, which is fine, and it's still kind of the same normal content that I want to do, but I also kind of just want to talk about shit because why the fuck not? A few things have changed. If you can tell, obviously this is very cut off, you can only see a portion. I kind of have a new wall, so my girlfriend and I spray painted these little shelves pink because I love pink, and that's my channel name. Hello, welcome to my channel. A bunch of pop figures up on them, so I'll make sure to insert a little photo here, or maybe it'll be a video because last time I tried to insert a photo it didn't work and that was really annoying, so we're not gonna have that happen again. Also, update is I finally got a new fucking computer. If you follow me on Twitter, which this is my shameless plug of my Twitter, you know that I've had such a fucking challenge with my laptop for years and years and years, and I finally was just like, I'm going back to school, like I need a new computer. Also, I want to edit better. I don't want to be sitting here for 3 hours thinking my laptop's gonna blow up because I'm trying to edit 2 seconds of a video. I haven't decided on a name. If you have any suggestions, let me know. So what are we talking about today? Because I'm always talking about some shit. I feel like that could be the name of this video series. Leanne's always talking about some shit. I am so excited for Volume 9 of RWBY. So excited. If you also follow me on Twitter, you would have known that I went to RTX 2022, and that was really fun, especially getting to show Alexis that kind of side of my life was very inspiring and just a lot of fun overall, and getting to see my friends that I haven't seen in like ages was too overly emotional for me. But yeah, it was overall a great time, and obviously we went to the RWBY panel and they teased a couple things there. They showed us a little, I guess, sneak peek or trailer or whatever, and then they also showed us a clip from the first episode. After seeing all of that, that kind of got my brain going and being like, okay, well, what is it that I, directly want to see out of Volume 9? Because there are expectations. This is a volume that was planned before Volume 1 was even planned. Like, this was something that was already in their mind. Obviously not to a T, and not like everything was written down beforehand, but this was something that they've always wanted to do, which kind of raises the bar for me a little bit. I'm trying to be very mindful and be like, it's probably not going to meet all my expectations, but I'd like to think in a perfect world that it does. So in a perfect world, I was just thinking of like, what would my top 9 things be for Volume 9, because I was trying to go on theme with the number and everything. Go along with me on this. So this is the top 9 things I want to see out of Volume 9. You can agree, you can disagree, you can expand, I don't care, go crazy. If there is anything that I missed that you're like, no, this definitely needs to happen, please let me know, because I would love to talk about it and I would love to kind of go wild on theories. I love to just talk about stuff that's probably never gonna come to fruition. If you see this little escape happening up at the top, I just created a really quick like PowerPoint-esque thing, so just go with it. Pretend this is awesome editing right now. So obviously Volume 9 is not coming out until early 2023, which I think is completely valid. I know there's been a lot of controversy, I guess, around that decision. Ultimately, if I'm going to decide between humans' well-beings and a fantasy show, I'm gonna go with the first. This is a volume that's been kind of hyped up for a little bit, so I rather have them work on it and make sure it's all good. So obviously, if you can zoom in here, editing Leanne. Alice in Wonderland. That's the first thing I want to talk about. There's been so many allusions to that particular story for this volume, and I want to see it so bad. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite Disney stories of all time. It's not like my favorite, but it's something that has been a discussion between me and my siblings for a long time. We've always kind of delved into the more analytical think pieces of it. There's so much history behind Alice in Wonderland, the Disney story, the Lewis Carroll original version, like the adaptations. There's so much story and lore even behind their own story and lore. And so that's why I'm like, I really just want as many hints here and there that we can have. Obviously we've had like Tweedledee and Tweedledum in the show already, but who's the Cheshire Cat? Who's the Singing Flowers? Who's the Mad Hatter? I want to know these things. I love allusions to different stories. Obviously they have kind of executed that perfectly with The Wizard of Oz. You know, we had our Dorothy, all-powerful Oz, we had Glinda Goodwitch, like all that stuff, right? And I love that story because that's also a whole thing that can be retold. And Alice in Wonderland has been retold a million times. We've had the live action, we've had the game. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's definitely not the original Disney version, but the story's been retold so many times, and the fact that it's being told through one of my favorite shows is very exciting for me, and so I am expecting a lot out of it. Even the fact that we got like a tease from Little, like I'm expecting like other animal characters to be talking and just weird crap to be happening, and I'm so excited. I love shows that kind of branch out from like their norm. I don't really have any theories as to who could be who as of now. I know the one thing on my mind, I know a lot of people were like, oh my god, Yang is Alice because she fell, and the end. Genuinely, I think Ruby is supposed to be the allusion to Alice in this sense. I don't really think it's Yang, just because with Yang and with Blake and with Weiss, they don't really feel like they can be in this story characterized as much as Ruby can be. I mean, Ruby is the one who lost herself. She's the one who needs to really find herself. We haven't really delved into her trauma and into what she needs as a character, so that's why I'm like full for Ruby being Alice. It just makes sense in my brain. I was saying like Weiss and Blake and Yang, not that they've stopped growing, but they've had a lot of attention in previous volumes, especially addressing their, you know, their traumas and the situations they go through, whether that be past, current, or future. And with Ruby, we really haven't seen that. Ruby obviously has lost her mom, and that's had a huge impact on her. If you know, read the lyrics of Red Like Roses Part 2, it's a huge part of who she was growing up and things she thought about herself and about her future. Even in the first episode, she's like, you know, my parents were a hunter and huntresses, you know, and they protect good people, and I want to be just like them. And she's read fairy tales ever since she was a little girl. It just makes sense for her to be Alice in this world. Yang is a good starting point, I guess, with, you know, the blonde factor, and because she was the first one to fall. I don't know, I don't really see it being a Yang-centric volume at all. Like, this is definitely, I feel, going to be a Ruby-centric volume, especially from the teases we got, and I'm really, really excited because Ruby is a character that is so interesting to me. So my second thing that I want to see out of Ruby Volume 9 is a different kind of theme song. So if any of y'all have watched Gravity Falls, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Gravity Falls obviously had the same kind of running theme song throughout the seasons, but by the end of season 2, it was reversed and it was demonized and it was twisted around because of the whole Bill Cipher issue and everything, and so it sounded a little bit different, and I would love if it was something like that. Obviously, I'm not hoping that they're gonna fucking take like Let's Just Live and then like reverse it and that's it, right? But I want this theme song to be different. I want it to have a different factor, and a factor that feels absurd and unusual and just something that's gonna like not make you feel too comfortable in your skin. What I also want to see out of the theme song is it not being the classic like rock anime magical girl style, right? I want it to be something different, probably not country. We've had that, but something along the lines of this theme song is unusual, just like how this volume is going to be. So I just want the theme song and the theme of the volume to kind of be holding hands in a sense, if that makes sense. The third thing that I want to see out of Ruby Volume 9 is outfit changes. And no, I'm not talking about like they get a whole new wardrobe like they do like every 3 volumes or whatever that rule is for them. I don't want that. I just want a change to their outfits, because obviously we're gonna go to Vacuo next volume. I'm hoping, I'm praying that I'm right, because I love being right. But yeah, if we go to Vacuo, then we can get outfit changes that make sense for the story. But right now we don't need a whole new wardrobe. That's not realistic, even though this is an unrealistic volume. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna confuse myself. But I don't want any major changes. What I do definitely want to see is the changes that were depicted in the RWBY art book. And if you have that book, first of all, I highly recommend it because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. If you have the art book, you know that they have variations of their outfits. And I remember, I think it was like before Volume 7 came out, that the pages were leaked or something like that. I was on Tumblr and I saw it, and that's what made me ultimately want to get the art book, was because I was like, oh, I want to see like all the different styles. And I don't think this is an impossible feat, because we've had this with not only like, you know, Volume 2, we had our subtle like outfit change kind of thing where they went out in the town and had their different little outfits. But like Weiss, you know, when we went to, not Atlas, but before we got to Atlas, put on a scarf, an extra thing for winter attire. Blake obviously lost her coat, like Yang could put on and then take off her tailcoat. And so things like that I just think would be really exciting. Also because I haven't seen Yang in a ponytail since Volume 4, and I miss Yang in a ponytail. To just have the kind of hair that she has. Obviously my hair does not look anything like hers. I hate my hair in my face, so I just want to see ponytail Yang reemerge, please. I need it. Also, I think it would just be fun to have something different and kind of show not only like the mental changes that are going on with the girls, but also the physical changes. I think it'd be pretty neat to see. The next thing I want to see out of RWBY Volume 9 is definitely a team bonding session. So we have not gotten one of those since Mountain Glen, I believe was season 2, where it was just the 4 girls kind of talking about their feelings and everything that they were doing. And even then it wasn't even the 4 girls, it was really just the 3 girls because RWBY was off to the side doing her own thing. Can relate. But yeah, we haven't really had a team bonding moment or talk. The closest I can think of is Mountain Glen or Volume 5, but Blake wasn't there that time. So there's always seems to be like one of the girls or 2 of the girls, whatever, missing. And I really, really just need that sit down talk with all of them, because I think it's important to the story, show how much they've grown and how they help each other in a way where we can chill out for a second and just talk to each other. And I feel like in a lot of the other volumes, we didn't have the extended time to do that. I want just a full extended like campfire talk, kind of reminiscent, I guess, of Volume 4 as well, when Crow's telling the group about everything that's going on, and just to kind of be there for RWBY, I guess, through everything that she's going to be going through. It would just be a really nice moment to see, something that I've been like craving, because it's like, as much as the show is literally named RWBY, I feel like we hardly get any team moments, and I need that. I need that from my soul. It would make me feel better. And if any volume this was going to happen, besides like the penultimate or the last volume, it would have to be now. That would just make the most sense to me. I also just want to kind of see them teasing each other for like how much they've changed. Again, like going back to the Volume 5, I think it was like Chapter 7 little like reunion thing we had. Because Ren says one of my favorite lines in the series, where it's just kind of like a desire to go back and change how you were. Like that means that you've grown and that you've adapted and you've become smarter or stronger, whatever. I think it would just be so interesting to have that little sit down talk with all of them and see how they've grown. I think it'd be cool too, because they were also like teasing like, oh, this is the volume of understanding yourself and what you go through and your secrets and stuff like that. And that's got my mind reeling in a million places. Having them talk about different things, like, you know, growing up and then them coming together as a team and what they went through and everything like that, I would love to hear it. I think it'd be very necessary for the story. The next thing that I want to see out of RWBY Volume 9 is horror. RWBY, horror genre, that's them. But no, like every time that RWBY has kind of leaned into horror or scary or whatever, they have excelled at it. I think that's been shown through the Apathy, that's been shown through the Whale, like that's been shown in so many instances, and I would just love to see that reemerge. And again, this is the perfect volume to do so, because we could go through so many like traumas that they've had to go in their personal lives and kind of make it bigger and make it more of a storytelling point, if that makes sense. I don't know why I keep going back to this. We're rewatching Avatar right now, or at least I'm rewatching Avatar right now. I'm introducing that to my girlfriend, so my mind is like stuck at Avatar brain mode right now. But in Avatar, obviously in book 3, there's the whole tiger, lion, tiger? Lion, big lion, turtle lion. I know what I'm talking about. There's a huge like lion turtle. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's just a scene that I constantly go back to, and I hope that's something that they kind of reference, just in like a scarier sort of way, if that makes any sense at all. I hope I'm making some sort of sense, because if I'm not, then bye, click off the video. Don't click off the video. I just hope kind of those themes reemerge, I guess, in a sense, because it's something that they excel at, and I would love to see how it would kind of go into the story. I feel like Alice in Wonderland as well is a terrifying story. I don't think a lot of people like to acknowledge it as such, but if you watch the live action, or if you play the game, that bitch is scary. Becoming smaller than you are and falling into an unfamiliar place and not knowing what is right and what is left, like that is terrifying. The unknown is terrifying, and so I would love to see that. Like I would love it to be all rainbows and fun and great and dandy, but I really want to see like scary shit. Again, Avatar, why am I going back to Avatar? But in book 2, when we're in the jungle, I think it is. I'm probably not remembering that right, but we're going through the forest or whatever, and Katara sees her mom. I want something similar for Ruby. It sounds so effed up. She's a character that blocks off that emotional trauma, and it'd be really nice to see her address it in that kind of way. I love how I told my girlfriend I was only gonna take like 25 minutes.
Psych!
Doing great. The next thing I want to see out of Ruby Volume 9 is a time skip, and not a time skip in this volume, but transitioning to next volume. This volume might feel like a couple days or a couple weeks or whatever to the girls, but then when they get back to Vacuo, it's like, no, you've been gone for like 2 years. I feel like it would just be a nice kind of progression for the story. Excuse me, oh my god, I love having acid reflux. But I think it would solidify the island being its own place and its own entity. It would also be really cool to see everyone come back together and be like, gravestones in the ground. They're like, we literally thought you had died, and they're like, okay, well, why are there headstones? Like, you guys could have waited. And they're like, no, it's been 2 years, so kind of just thought you were dead. Again, I love my references, so if you've read Heroes of Olympus, when Leo comes back, you know, he's literally like, oh, or even like with Percy, you know, on Ogygia. In the Percy Jackson world, there was Ogygia, and Ogygia was kind of this magical island. It was hard to tell about time there. I think it'd be a neat kind of reference to bring Greek mythology into it. But anyways, I want a time skip. I want to see that the other characters have grown. I just kind of want to cry when I see them all together again, like really hard. I think it'd be nice. We have to. I'm sorry. The last 3 things that I do want to talk about in regards to Volume 9 have to do with them. 75% actual plot and lore and storytelling, and then 25% how can I make this gay? The first thing in regards to them that I would like to see out of Volume 9, which I guess this is like my 0.7 out of Volume 9 that I would like to see. I want to see like a little romantic moment. I don't care how short it is. I don't care what they do. I just want to see something that's being teased that I can be like, because I feel like so many other ships have gone that. Remora's gone that. Arcos has gone that. So many other anime tropes, even when the characters don't get together for like 10 seasons, do that. So I feel like it's only fair we give the same kind of attention to them. I think it would be important too if, you know, this is the Bumblebee volume, the volume that they get officially together, that we give them a little nudge, a little wink. I don't know why I tried to do both at the same time, but I did. The next thing that I would like to see in terms of the girls is Burning the Candle Part 2. That has been talked about before, about revisiting that particular kind of scene, just because Burning the Candle Part 1 was so impactful. It was a huge thing of Yang, you know, explaining her past trauma and, you know, relating it to Blake's and being this confident for her. And it was a huge just kind of, I feel, foundation point for their relationship, and for a lot of people to finally kind of realize like, oh hey, like this is a little bit more than friendship, you know what I mean? And so I would like to see that being reprised and being brought back again. And obviously, I'm sorry, Lollapalooza is going on out there. I would just like to see it being brought back in a different way. So instead of Yang approaching Blake, Blake approaching Yang. Yang kind of has this tendency that's been very overlooked, where she kind of likes to throw herself into the first sign of danger. And she's gotten a lot better about doing that, but unfortunately with this past volume, she kind of repeated old mistakes. And it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it is a thing that can cause problems for her in the long run. They could have literally lost Yang, and so I would really appreciate it if they revisited it in that kind of way, where Blake, you know, like sits down with her and it's like, Can we not? I just think it'd be really beautiful to see it play out in that sort of way, where they're sitting down and talking about, hey, can you not sacrifice yourself for others, because as much as you want to be there for other people, like, what's gonna happen if you get hurt? Like, I need you to be there. And I think that would just be huge for not only like people like me who want to see that out of the relationship, but people like that who are on the brink, I guess, who are just kind of like, well, I don't really see how it can be a relationship, which if you've gone this far, I don't understand that kind of mindset, but I feel like it could be a huge thing of like, oh wow, like they actually have this kind of very close-knit relationship, and they obviously care for each other a lot if they're reciprocating kind of the same emotions and feelings to each other. That's my spiel. I just want Burning the Candle Part 2. I'm gonna cry. I want all the emotions to be present. And the last thing I am asking out of these two bitches,
you are gay,
is a kiss. I want a kiss. And I don't want a fucking little peck and then we move away from the camera or whatever. I want a kiss. I've just been thinking about this particular topic for a while now. But also just kind of how kisses in terms of women loving women have been depicted in media. And we have seen a lot of progress and a lot of great representation, and I'm not sitting here complaining. But I feel like a lot of it has kind of just been like, oh, you guys want him to kiss? Okay, last second, boom, kiss. Horasami didn't even get to kiss. Bubbling kissed in the last episode. Luckily, they got a special, which was really, really neat. But again, like, it's an ending special. Is kind of like, where are they now, you know? We had She-Ra, which was absolutely groundbreaking, but it was the last episode. And so I would just personally love, you know, if we had a couple that's as big as this, that is sapphic, that could have a relationship that doesn't just start and end in the last episode. I would love a kiss to like solidify that, I guess. No, we're serious about this relationship and we're gonna build it from here, like how we would do like a hetero relationship, how a lot of other TV shows do hetero relationships. And again, this is not me complaining at all. It is incredibly hard to get LGBT representation on mainstream media, which is absolute BS, but that's the world we live in. I just think RWBY and Rooster Teeth in particular are in a very kind of special stance here, where it's their own company, their own kind of rules, even though a bunch of layers to that, but they kind of get to call the shots here. So I feel like they can do a lot with it. What I would like to see out of it, like in terms of scenery and stuff like that, I genuinely don't really care. I think just anything romantic, like a sunset or sunrise, anything like that, I think sunset would be beautiful. I really want like acoustic music going in the background, like it can be acoustic Bumblebee, that's fine, or just any kind of acoustic music. I don't think I could take it seriously if they were singing. I kind of get obsessive with like sapphic relationships, and I love to like rewatch kisses and stuff like that because it brings me a lot of joy. I don't want to like go back and like rewind and have to hear like a specific phrase being sung over and over again, so I wouldn't want that. I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to hear Aaron sing. I want that too, but I don't want it during that specific moment. I feel like just no lyrics it's going to be better, because also like, I don't know if this is a quote from someone, but I've heard it a million times that a kiss says a million different words at once. We don't need words accompanying a moment like that. I also really just want like the himbo best friend trope thing with Jean happening. I feel like that's the only reason I'm kind of tolerating Jean being there. I don't hate Jean by any means, but I'm kind of like, why is he there? What's the significance here? Like, I understand he had the whole thing with Pyrrha, but like, we gotta move on. I think it'd be really funny if he was a big like supporter, was like hiding in the bushes. White doesn't want anything to do with that. She's like, ew, gross. That's below my pay. And RWBY obviously is gonna be going through her own things. Not to say that she can't support, you know, her teammate and her sister, but I feel like she's not going to be in that kind of headspace, I guess, too much. So I'd love for Jean to kind of take the helm on that one and kind of just become like the sapphic ship himbo that I have come to love and adore. This is my file. Don't look at me. I need to put my thoughts down somewhere, or else I would talk for 2 hours. Those are my top 9 things I want to see out of Volume 9. But obviously there's other things that I'm hoping, like little things that I didn't think had a lot of weight to it, just kind of throwouts there. One thing I want to see is like the ghost of Pyrrha. Like, we've had so many mentions of her, and we had the little video of her in Volume 4 and everything, but I would love to see her come back for any reason, you know, and just kind of talk to the girls and Jean about what's going on, I guess. I just think it'd be really emotional and be a nice send-off for Pyrrha. I feel like we keep bringing her up, and we had the memorial and all that stuff, and obviously like Pyrrha is a huge part of the story. Ruby would not have activated her silver eyes and all that stuff if Pyrrha had not done what she had done. But I kind of just want a good send-off for her. She's important to the story, but it's not something that we have to keep rehashing. Another thing that I want to see is something that we've seen before already, but I want to see Neo turning to someone to trick them. I feel like it would just be really great in this volume, particularly because unlike the other volumes where it was more like real world centric, this one's like unknown territory, and so her playing mind games would work really well in this volume. The next thing, always gotta come back to the girls, but I want Blake and Yang to meet again how they did originally. So how they met in the forest, like Blank. I love my favorite character, Ruby, Blank. But yeah, I want like a reminiscent moment of Blake hunting down Yang and finding her again. But I think a thing that I would really like to see is the original script of Volume 1. And if you don't know, you gotta know. Basically, Blake was gonna hold up like a sword to her throat and like say some like intimidating words to her or something like that. I think it'd be really cool because again, this is unknown territory. Neo could be playing mind games, other things in the world could be playing mind games with Blake, and so she's not really sure who this person that's claiming their gang is. So I think it'd be really neat for her to hold up a little sword to Yang and have that whole little moment. Also, I just really love like tension-filled moments, so that would make my heart very happy. Another thing that absolutely has to happen is a musical number. If there's no musical number, if the animals are not singing and dancing and breakdancing, I'm going to throw a riot. I don't know, we have like the singing flowers in Alice in Wonderland. I think it'd be a lot of fun for inanimate? Basically for objects to start like singing and the characters be like, are we on drugs? I don't know. I think it'd be really funny, and the musical theater academy would absolutely eat that up. Obviously, I want callbacks to all the fairy tales that we have learned before, how the Faunus came to be, about the Faunus and her lover. Please, I need that reference between Blake and Yang, please. And then also, obviously the girl who fell through the world, which we already got kind of a tease through the teaser. But yeah, I just want to see a lot of callbacks to fairy tales, because then it'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's why they were doing the whole like animated show and everything. Everything kind of works out, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's everything I want to see out of Volume 9 as of now. It's August of 2022, so obviously Volume 9 isn't coming out till 2023. So we'll see if I'm correct about any of this. I do definitely want to do like a bingo card kind of ordeal. If you're on Ruby Twitter, you know that everyone does the bingo card. And I would love to do that like on the channel. I don't know, that's it. That's it for me, that's all. That's all. That's all. I'm sorry, I just watched Devil Wears Prada, so that's all I can remember now. That's, as of now, everything I want to see out of Ruby Volume 9. Again, this volume is going to be crazy and weird and bizarre, and I am all here for it. And I cannot wait to see how much it surprises me. I can't wait to see what my reactions are going to be like. Probably a little all over the place, so you know, the usual. But yeah, thank you so much for sitting through and watching. If you have any other ideas or theories for Volume 9, please leave them down below. I would love to read them, talk about it with y'all. Yeah, let me know if there's anything that I missed, or if there was something I talked about that you didn't think of before, or something that you want to expand upon. Just anything. You could tell me what kind of breakfast you had this morning and I'd be entertained. Just leave it down in the comments below. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button as well, because I'm going to be trying to get out videos every Thursday. Again, heavy emphasis on trying. I am working and I am a student and a lot of shit is going on, so I'm trying. But yeah, I hope you liked my new setup and everything going on here. I can already tell this is gonna be awful to edit, so cannot wait.
2,000 years.
I'm so sorry, editing Leanne. But anyways, be gay, do crimes, and I'll see y'all a little bit later. Bye.